Russell Wilson is not doing well at all. And I forget the exact number they paid him to come down to Denver and be able to plug and play with him. I mean, they were expecting numbers, I mean, big numbers. He's throwing for like 50% of his passes are completed. He has got time behind the pocket, too. He's been rushed, but there has been more times than not he stood back there 3-4 seconds, which is ridiculous in the NFL. He's got an offensive line, and he can't complete a pass. He can't find a receiver getting open. So my question to Denver is that a receiver issue? Is that a quarterback issue? I mean, you have so much time back there to find somebody open, and nobody's getting open. I mean, maybe it's time. Maybe it is time for anybody that's 33 or older, and I'm just going to shoot and say it, 33 to 38, because that's where the senior quarterbacks are coming from. They go into other teams. Maybe it's time for just retire. If you're in that age range, 33 to 38. I mean, you're talking about your ending years. If you're not staying with the team that you started with, it might be that time. Just saying. I think Matt's starting to see it. We were hoping big things from him, and it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen, and it's not his fault. It's not. We did not produce a running game. We did not produce an offensive line that's willing to protect or open holes. We just haven't. So, I mean, it's not his fault. We knew what he was capable of, and escaping from the blitzes, being rushed, being sacked, all that. We knew he was not going to be able to get away from most of the pressure that other teams were going to put on him. If they got through our offensive line, we knew the odds are is he's going to be sacked or he's going to throw the ball away. But it's just we haven't been able to protect him, and he was expecting it. And if we were able to protect him, I think it'd be another story. And we're just not. So, so we have Denver, which was a huge letdown. We have Tampa Bay with Tom Brady, and it's everything. I mean, yes, everybody's saying Tampa Bay's going to come back. It's Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady, whatever. He has not been looking well. He really hasn't. And it's not been all him for the most part either. His receivers are dropping passes left and right. I don't know. But it is not only us. Okay? And then, as far as our record is 3-3-1. Forget the 1. Throw the 1 out the window. We are now 4-3. There is no reason we need to look at that 3-3-1 because we're looking at it as 3-3, and the 1's a loss. So really, a lot of people are looking at it as 3-4. So yeah, it's not. We need to look at that as a 4-3. We should have won the game. We could have won the game, in several different ways, and it just never worked out. So it was ended up being a tie. I believe if we replay that game now, it would be a win every time. But that game was ugly, and we still figured out a way to tie it, which is just stupid. So I've heard it several times. It's Optimism Wednesday. I feel like I believe we're going to win Sunday. With it being the Commanders, which they've not been playing well at all. They've been playing just good enough. Their defense has been getting turnovers here and there. They've just been staying in the game long enough to win it. They beat Green Bay. It was not a pretty game on either side of that. That was both ugly. So being at home where the crowd is, if you guys are going to be at the game, if this audience, whoever's watching this is going to be at the game, be loud, be proud, show them whose house they're in. Let them know where they are. I mean, Sam needs Sam needs the confidence. He needs to be pumped up. The offensive line needs to be pumped up. The coaches need help. We are the uncontrollable edge for our team when we're at home. We need to do what we can do to help the team out. So let's be loud. But by all means, I want to end it here for now. I'm going to try to get some sleep. I legitimately came from work home, been gone for 16 hours. I'm going to go to bed. But I'm ending this video here. Leave your comments, suggestions. I am trying to get better and better with every video I make. I know that I have hesitations. I have pauses. I have ums in my videos. And I do apologize. I do not make a lot of these, or I have not made a lot of these. I am trying to do so now, though. So please subscribe. Help me out along the way. All right, guys. Have a good one. Be safe. Okay, so Sam Ellinger is going to be starting for us. Everybody knows it. It's been announced. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover some of the other teams in the NFL that kind of reflect how we're playing. And we're going to possibly discuss, we are going to discuss the trades that everybody's wanting to see done for whatever reason. But this is a discussion I believe it needs to happen now. If you haven't already, subscribe, ring that bell, and by all means, please comment. First off, Sam, Commanders. The Colts are, I believe, 9-point favorites. We're looking good as far as the bets are concerned. I believe that he can bring some different play for the quarterback position for our team. I believe the Colts have been missing it. We haven't seen his style of play for a while, unless you want to count Carson Wentz. Wentz was a little bit more mobile. But, yeah, so we're used to, for the longest time, Peyton Manning. Andrew Luck was a little bit more mobile, but still Peyton Manning kind of style with a little bit of mobility. Sam's supposed to be, like, in preseason, I think it's 85% of his passes he was hitting. He was able to get outside the pocket, run from the defensive line when he was blitzed, and he got away from it quite a bit. I believe he had, 4 touchdowns, no picks, 300 plus yards, I think, or 300 yards, somewhere in the neighborhood, for the preseason. It's pretty good, just not against the starters. So hopefully he's been really studying and getting to it. But now the Commanders have a backup quarterback as well playing. Wentz will not be in this game. He has a broken hand. So it's going to be 2 backup quarterbacks playing against each other. Everybody's wanting to trade players, either have not been playing well or have been hurt or injured. No. So we owe too much money out to these players. We signed most of them within the last 2 years, and they're sitting on 4-year or 5-year contracts. The only one that wasn't was Matt Ryan. I don't think there's anybody else on our team that's even close to having their contract extension coming up as far as this year, the end of this year. The ones who are coming up, Pittman and JT. So I don't think either one of them are going to be traded. So I know people are talking about Shaq Leonard. They're talking about Kelly, possibly. I mean, there's a lot of players on our offensive line that are not doing as well as they were expected to do. As well as Shaq Leonard's been injured. We're well aware of this. We went through this, so if you think about this, we went through this with players before. This is not a big surprise. It happens. Paris Campbell was injured for 2 years, and he actually has been looking halfway decent this year. So, and hopefully he stays healthy. He's looking good. So sometimes it happens. Not saying sometimes it happens. It's known to happen in the NFL. People are constantly hit hard, and eventually the odds are something's going to go wrong with them. They are not superhuman. They are an athlete that does things that most people can't do. That does not make them superhuman. So injuries are going to happen. So we just got to expect it. We got to deal with it. We got to move on. We have paid these players, most of these players that everybody's complaining about, a lot of money. Nobody's going to pick their contract up, especially whether they're playing right now. Like Matt Ryan, nobody's going to want Matt Ryan. I mean, we just subbed him for what used to be on the practice squad, backup quarterback. It is not going to happen. I personally don't want to trade Matt Ryan. If we figure this thing out somewhere this season and we start to get things squared away, and next year is even better, and Sam does not do as well as we are hoping he does, then by all means bring Matt back. If he's willing to come back, which that's up to Matt. He may retire. After everything he's been through this year with us, he may retire. So by all means bring him back if he wants to come back if Sam doesn't work out. But nobody's going to take their contract. There is no trade deadline that we're going to be doing. I mean, there's trade deadline, but there's no trades we're going to be working in that deadline. I just don't see anything there. We did pick up a punter because that's something we did not do well last week. We did pick up a punter. I can't think of his name. I believe he is a rookie. I think he's his second year in. If I remember correctly, I read about this. I don't remember his name. I do apologize. However, how that works out, I'm not real sure. He may be brought right up off the practice squad and be punting in Sunday's game. I really don't know. Wouldn't surprise me any, though. Now, talking about the other teams, okay? We have Denver. We have Tampa Bay. We have the Raiders. Those three teams we're expecting to do pretty well this year, especially Tampa Bay. You talk about having the people they need to plug in, and Tom Brady comes back and unretires to play another season. We were expecting a lot out of Tampa Bay. Not been playing well. As well as, Denver. Denver. I mean, you kidding me? Look how much money they put out to bring the quarterback to Denver. An actual, supposed to be good quarterback. So I needed everybody to understand we're not the only team that's having issues.